but it will show you the clear picture of the state. The flag will show you the clear picture of the state, the peace that exists in the state, the unity, progress, and all these are all represented in what we are going to come up with.
Contestants Kenneth Anande, Dave Uku, and Sewese Shima expressed their support for the initiative, which aims to establish a state logo, flag, and anthem to attract tourists and investors to Benue.
If you set out your identity that reflects the real who you are, people will know you and they will patronize you.
It's a very good and unique thing that would promote the image of Benue State, both within and outside the state at the same time at the international level.
From the aspect of tourism, the identity is one that creates an atmosphere, or it creates a picture that depicts a favorable atmosphere for tourist activities to tour in the state. So giving Benue an identity will give investors an opportunity to know, to have a picture of where they are coming and how the tourist activities will look like.
Earlier, the Benue state government had called on talented individuals to present designs for the state logo, anthem, and the map that truly represent the state's identity. The best logo, anthem, and the flag will be adopted for the state at the end of the competition. Matthew Ikulono, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
The Center for Food Technology and Research, CEFTA, Friday received a significant boost to its research center at Benue State University, Makurdi. The donation of the equipment was done by Service Lab USA. The equipment was delivered during a formal event at the center aimed at enhancing research projects within the institute. Correspondent Dorcas Chia has details.
In an effort to boost research initiatives and improve the educational system, CEFTA applied for a grant from Service Lab United States of America. This request was successfully approved, leading to the delivery of advanced research equipment to the center on Friday. The director of CEFTA, Professor Barnabas Ikio, and the deputy director, Dr. Sylvester, expressed their excitement about this development. They emphasized that the new equipment would benefit both local students at Benue State University and international students studying at the institute. They also highlighted that this milestone will encourage further applications for grants to continue advancing the institute's research capabilities.
In a research institute, when you have capacity like this, you know that more people will know you and more people will prefer that you should work for them. So definitely this catch of equipment that have arrived will build us more and strengthen us more to apply for more grants and win more grants. That will have capacity to do more things. So people like NAFDAC, people like Standard Organization of Nigeria, people like World Health Organization, and so we now know that we have things here that they don't need to go to US to do. They can come to Benue State University, Makurdi, CEFTA in BSU and do them. And that is, we are highly expectant that more things will come.
A PhD student in analytical and environmental chemistry, Monica Tekura, and a Cameroonian student from the same department, Emmanuel Chinwujo, conveyed their gratitude to the donor. They noted that the new equipment would significantly simplify their research processes, making their work much more efficient.
During the course of my preparation to start my research work, I was making investigation on the places that have the instruments I would love to use in my research, like the centrifuge, the liquid chromatography. Precisely are the instruments that I'll be needing in my research work. So seeing them here, I'm so overwhelmed with joy and gratitude.
Coupled with what we faced during our master's program, we had limited equipment, but with this one on ground now, we are satisfied, and we know that the research now will move forward. We have equipment, like for me, when they were listing the equipment, I saw a PCR machine that will benefit me. I'm already teaching my research towards that direction. I will use the equipment.
The event also featured a celebration by staff and students who were excited about the new opportunities the equipment would bring. Dorcas Chia, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
As the Eid al-Kabir festival approaches, Muslim faithful are urging the federal government to address the high cost of living, particularly the soaring price of rams. Kabiru Buhari, who monitored market activities in preparation for the occasion, brings us this report.
As Muslim faithful prepare for Eid al-Kabir in Makurdi and surrounding areas, market visitors lamented that the cost of ram has exceeded their budget. At the North Bank market in Makurdi, Ishuaiba Musa noted that ram previously bought for 180,000 cost between 250,000 and 350.
I've gone to several places to make sure that I'll be able to buy at least one of it. But all I am saying is this: the price is too cost.
Similarly, Ibrahim Haruna expressed frustration over being asked to pay 350,000 naira for a ram.
Unlike last year, look at this one now, they are telling me 350,000 naira. Something that we bought for 200,000 naira, even lesser than last year. Things are very, very difficult and things are very, very expensive in the market. And the salary is not that funny for us.
A seller explained that the increased cost is due to high transportation expenses, with ram previously sold for 180,000 naira, price at 250,000.
The market is very, very poor. We are not selling. You can look at it. Tomorrow is Salah. Nobody, there's no customer, every single one. The prices are hard. Secondly, people doesn't have. There's no money.
Citizens are calling on the government to take immediate action to avert the economic burden, as rising costs affect the ability to afford even basic necessities. Kabiru Buhari, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
Thank you, Kabiru. And with that report, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. To stay.
Benue Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 30th June 2024.
Pick a form at Benue Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makurdi. Form costs 5,000 naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million naira. Second prize, 500,000 naira. And third prize, 300,000 naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benue TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Welcome. The Managing Director of Benue Investment and Property Company Limited, BIPC, Dr. Raymond Asamakaha, has urged a partnership between BIPC and the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, to develop an agro-trade zone, agri-value chain, central parking systems, and optimize state assets. During a meeting at the BPE headquarters in Abuja, Dr. Asamakaha stressed the need for joint efforts to boost Benue's economy and attract investors. Dr. Asamakaha highlighted BIPC's dedication to public-private partnerships to create employment through these initiatives, aiming for sustainable economic growth in Benue State. BP Director Michael Magaji supported the collaboration, noting the importance of private sector investment. He praised Benue's stable credit rating from Fitch Ratings and assured continued support for attracting investors. Magaji also urged state investment houses to create asset registers and promised assistance in recovering unknown properties and stocks. In related comments, officials Eze Callistus, Jerry Tilegado, and Busola Obanu encouraged state investment houses to seek ratings to draw local and international investors. The Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Jide Idris, Saturday blamed the outbreak of cholera in the country on poor sanitation, personal and environmental hygiene, and lack of access to clean water. Idris, during a media interaction, noted that the agency is conducting a risk assessment and alerted all the states on the outbreak. Cholera is a food and waterborne disease caused by the ingestion of the organism Vibrio cholerae in contaminated water and food. NCDC had warned the public of the increasing trend of cholera cases across the country as the rainy season intensifies. The center said from January 1st to June 11, 2024, a total of 1,141 suspected and 65 confirmed cases of cholera, with 30 deaths have been reported from 96 local government areas in 30 states. In Nigeria, cholera is an endemic and seasonal disease occurring annually, mostly during the rainy season and more often in areas with poor sanitation. The DG said the state governments have to ensure access to clean water and toilets for their citizens. He stressed the need to train more environmental officers to ensure compliance with environmental regulations and standards. All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, a non-governmental organization, Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF, and smallholder farmers in Nigeria have appealed to the federal government to urgently suspend the use of genetically modified organization GMO to grow crops in the country. This, the experts explained, would reduce the negative health implications in human beings, stop increasing cases of cancer and other diseases in Nigeria. Speaking at a one-day training organized by Health of Mother Earth Foundation for smallholder farmers drawn from over 15 states in Kefi, Nasarawa State, Programs Manager of HOMEF, Cadmus Enade, said there was urgent need for the suspension of the application of GMO on crops to reduce the negative effect on Nigerians. According to Cadmus, agroecology farming system, which is in line with nature to promote food sovereignty and sufficiency, has been abandoned due to the instruction and initiative of GMO by the federal government. He, however, called on governments at all levels and regulatory bodies to focus the searchlight on some big stores who are currently selling GM foods but unknown to many customers who do not have the culture of reading labels before consumption and therefore not knowing exactly what they are consuming. Mr. Enade hinted research carried showed that some of the GM seeds resulted in massive death of birds in farms, death of some kinds of grasses where these seeds are planted, which means those seeds are harmful even to humans over time. Also speaking, National Secretary of Farmers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Yunusa Halidu, called on the federal government to initiate a policy that would promote biofertilizers and organic farming rather than the GMO to enhance the production of healthy food and the environment. He called on the federal government to reduce the emphasis on genetically modified crops and adopt local ways of crop production, using natural resources to ensure food safety and a healthy environment. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll bring you news on the international scene. To stay.
Benway Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 30th June 2024.
Pick a form at Benway Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makurdi. Form costs 5,000 naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million naira. Second prize, 500,000 naira. And third prize, 300,000 naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benway TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569. Benway Fashion Show, embracing fusion fashion.
You're still watching Benway Television News at 7. At our 4 stories on the international scene, South Africa's parliament has re-elected Cyril Ramaphosa as the country's president following a landmark coalition deal between the governing African National Congress, ANC, and opposition parties. The new government of national unity combines Mr. Ramaphosa's ANC, the centre-right Democratic Alliance DA, and smaller parties. In his victory speech, Mr. Ramaphosa hailed the new coalition and said voters expected the leaders to act and to work together for the good of everyone in the country. It meant Mr. Ramaphosa, who replaced Jacob Zuma as both president and ANC leader following a bitter power struggle in 2018, was able to retain power. The next step is for Mr. Ramaphosa to allocate cabinet positions which will include members of the DA. The ANC had always polled above 50 democratic elections in 1994, which saw Nelson Mandela become the president. However, support for the party has been dropping significantly because of anger over high levels of corruption, unemployment, and crime. But in the just concluded national election, ANC got 40% of the vote, while the DA came second with 22%. Addressing South Africa's parliament after his confirmation, Mr. Ramaphosa called back to his party's first presidential victory 30 years ago. Finally, authorities in Honduras have announced a series of measures aimed at tackling organized crime, including the construction of a 20,000 capacity mega prison, as well as terrorist designations and collective trials for members of gangs. In a late-night televised address to the nation, President Xiomara Castro said the plan of solutions against crime was in response to a security emergency and public complaints about increasing violence. Castro said the armed forces and police should be deployed to urgently execute interventions across parts of the country with the highest incidences of gang crimes such as murders for hire, drug and firearm trafficking, extortion, kidnapping and money laundering. The plan to build the 20,000 inmate emergency reclusion center will massively expand Honduras' current prison capacity. The authorities also said the Honduran Congress must reform the penal code so that drug traffickers and members of criminal gangs who commit specific crimes, such as those listed by Castro, are designated as terrorists and face collective trials. Heads the National Police Force Hector Sanchez said a list of intellectual authors, leaders and gang members was being distributed and that the immediate arrest of those on the list was being ordered. The police chief said operations will also be launched to locate and destroy plantations growing marijuana and coca leaf, the key ingredient in cocaine, as well as centers being used to process illegal drugs. Honduras declared a state of emergency in December 2022, suspending parts of the constitution as it sought to crack down on a rise in crime it attributed to gangs. Last year, the country's homicide rate stood at 34%, 100,000 inhabitants, almost 6 times the global average. That's about the size of our package. The top stories just before we go. The Benue State government has denied borrowing money from European Investment Bank, and CDC has blamed poor sanitation for cholera outbreak in Nigeria. And on the international scene, we told you that Parliament elected South Africa's Ramaphosa as president. Many thanks for your attention. On behalf of the production team, my name is Jude Alaki. Have a good evening.